This is episode 8 of Modding Skyrim, you've guessed it, special edition, the last episode of the series. It's been a blast guys, I loved making those, but it's time to close this chapter. I want to thank you all for all of your support that you've shown. The main goal of the series was to show you how to have a minimalist mod list that tries to stay faithful to vanilla Skyrim. After all of those episodes, I'm not having more than 400 mods to make Skyrim feel much more better. I am going to divide this video into two parts. On the first part, I will showcase the mods I'm about to cover just like any other episode, and on the second part, I am going to include all of the mistakes I've done over the past few episodes, the bits and pieces of small errors here and there. I'm going to fix those so that way you are not going to encounter any issues. Let's start with some basics, that is New Legion.
These Stormcloaks are nothing more than an armed mob.
This is a mod that, similar to immersive armors, it is going to grab the Imperials and it's going to give them armors from the previous Elder Scrolls games like Oblivion or ESO. This is going to put our favorite, the Imperial Guard armor from Oblivion, into Skyrim, and not only that, all of the sets. This is nice because this mod distributes those armors to officers, general, to a bunch of other ranks, and it fits so nicely into the game. There are many patches for this one and I'm going to have all of those included, but the main mods you want to consider for this is the main mod, which you want to install the base mod first, as you see here, and after that is done you want to grab the Textures HD and install that on top of it, and then go and grab the New Legion CBB or 3BA, which is going to make those armors fit to females when it comes to Skyrim. You know me guys, I love complex material and PBR. We've got an add-on for this and oh my god, look how sexy those armors look. There is versions for complex material and PBR, so grab whichever fits for your game. Enough with the Legion, let's move to another armor mod that I think fits so nicely to Skyrim. We have the armor variants expansion. I could make a single video only for this. It grabs so many mashups of different vanilla armors and it creates so many unique sets. With this you're going to have hundreds of armors and those armors will be distributed into the NPCs. What I love about this mod is that every bandit you're going to encounter is going to look different, and this is going to give you the illusion that we're having a big list of diverse enemies, while in reality all of them wearing different armors. No longer the bandits will have the exact same armor, or let's say the 3 variations of armor. This refreshes the enemies of Skyrim in a nice way by also giving you so many more choices, and I love this mod so much. It took me such a long time to actually find out about this mod. No longer you're going to have the iron helmet only, but you're going to have 3 versions of that, and the same goes for pretty much everything. There's so many armors with this. Such a beautiful mod. If you remember the first episode I've made where we've covered all of the vanilla armor retextures, all of those are going to work for this mod. Now let's enhance a little bit the artifacts with ArteFakes Unique Artifacts Replacer. This mod is going to grab some artifacts that they're kinda under the miscellaneous page that they never got any enhancement, like the Balkrus Greatsword, or the Armen's Family Sword, or the Alessandra's Dagger, the Aela's Shield, and there is so many of those. It will give them unique effects, unique looks, and it will make those secondary type of artifacts they never got much love in Skyrim to actually look and play so much more better. This mod is insane. I had no idea it was so popular. It took me a long time to figure out how good this mod was. We've installed the Reverie body mod, which fits into a much more vanilla friendly look when it comes to the NPCs. You want to grab the faithful faces. This is going to overhaul all of the NPCs in Skyrim to feel better copy paste of the original game. This is how Lydia will look, which doesn't differentiate a lot from how she used to look on vanilla Skyrim. And all of the NPCs, they keep the vanilla look and aesthetic, which is what I love about it, while they're getting much more better models. This works with our skin mode, and you want to go to the requirements and make sure you have the vanilla hair remake, which we've installed on the previous episode. And since we are modding again 1.597, you don't need the SMP NPC crash. This is something you need only for any versions of Skyrim that are closer to the latest build. This is going to completely enhance all of your NPCs with just 2 mods. And then I'm covering 2 mods of the same creator, the Jellyfish Loop. Those are very new mods that they are going to enhance the first person animations for sneaking and running, which are going to play as you see, which adds much more immersion and much more life into the movement of Skyrim. Anything that makes the first person feel much more dynamic is something that is going to enhance the combat or the exploration to your game, and those 2 mods are going to do exactly that. We have the Burn banners, which is going to give you the option to actually be able to finally burn banners in any place you want outside of Inns. This is really beautiful and role friendly, and I love this mod. I had no idea we didn't have a similar mod to this up to this point. This is something that we should be able to do to the vanilla game. Then for combat, I've put the simple block Sparks NG, which is going to play sparks every time you're going to block or your enemies, which adds so much more immersion, making the combat a little bit more dramatic. And then I am using Masu's block overhaul, which is going to make the blocking much more better. Every time you're going to block with this mod, you're going to feel the impact, and you're going to have your character sometimes fall back depending on how big your enemy is. If a bandit hits you, you won't see much of an impact, but if a dragon or a dwarven centurion hits you, you can see your character taking few steps back. It makes the blocking combined with all of the mods I've used in the previous episodes so much more better, and it enhances the combat by a lot. I haven't included many audio type of mods because for the most part I like the vanilla sounds, but I'm going to use the bleeding edge, which is going to add a much more bloody impact sound when it comes to hitting with your weapons, which is something I prefer over most of the stuff that is on the Nexus. I'm gonna give you a preview how slashing and thirsting sounds with this mod on, so you can choose if you like this or not. I think it fits into vanilla Skyrim. And then we have the footsteps sounds overhaul, which in my opinion, this is the best footsteps sound overhaul that comes from mouse modding. This is going to make it where when you step on any different surface, you're going to have different sounds for your footsteps. If you are wearing armor, no armor, light or heavy armor. If you're stepping on wood, on grass, on stone, on metal, on corpses, it's going to cover all of those in a single mod. It is absolutely fantastic, and again, this is the best footsteps sound overhaul that exists for Skyrim, so go ahead and grab that.
Good to see you. Greetings.
Lastly, two mods. Lemus33 has created nice textures for parallax when it comes to the ice caves and caves in general. We're using Skyland all-in-one, but I wanted something new, and I've been trying the Vanaheimr mines and caves over the past month or so, and I have to say I love these textures for the mines and the ice caves, which again they resemble a lot Skylands and vanilla Skyrim. This works with parallax and pretty much everything we have, including community shaders. And lastly, Skyking made another mod I've covered in my previous episode. This is Skyking Snowburst, which finally means that we have the snow mod to fit our Skyland all in one to make Skyrim again feel like a better version of itself as it should. This is going to make the snow so much more crisp and better looking, and with that again, with those few mods here and there, I'm going to finish modding Skyrim. I think I should have included way less mods than that. That being said, you don't have to use most of those mods. You can see which ones you like to make your Skyrim the closest to your like. That being said, that was my personal mod list and my personal minimalist Skyrim. I usually have over 1,000 mods to my mod list, but with this one we're sitting around 400-ish mods when it comes to Skyrim. Now let's go to the second part of this video, which I think is very interesting, and this is me covering some mistakes I've done and I want to cover from my past videos, so I'm gonna go very fast on this. First of all, let's speak about Embers XD. The mistake I've done on Embers XD is that when you're going to install this mod, you want to make sure to grab the 1K version. The 1K version saves you more than half of the VRAM usage the 2K version does, and again the jump from 1K to 2K when it comes to all of those flame effects, it's not that much big of a deal. This is something I wanted to cover because when it comes to my videos, I always want to make sure you're having the best stability and performance into your game. Embers is something that many enemies will use. Sometimes you will fight multiple casters that are going to use fire. You're going to have many fire sources, and if you're having the 2K versions of Embers XD, it is going to tax your system. That gets multiplied by if you are using an ENB or community shaders and so on and so forth. So I recommend to use the 1K version. Now when it comes to installing animation mods, combat mods and all of this type of crap, you guys have told there is a new tool out there called Pandora's Behaviour engine. I've been using Nemesis over the past many years and I had no idea this came out. On similar fashion to Nemesis, you are going to manually download this, have it as a tool to run it, the same way you run Nemesis on your mod manager. This is a much more better version of Nemesis. It is going to do the exact same things when it comes to updating your animations, your combat mods and everything. My apologies for not covering this on the first episodes. Then let's speak about community shaders, guys. When I've made my community shaders episode, there was almost 5 more mods included on the features here. That being said, almost 1 month later, we're having half of those mods, which means if you install mods like the Reload lighting or the dynamic cube maps or the sky reflection fix and all of those old mods that community shaders used to want you to have, your game will be pretty much broken. So make sure when it comes to community shaders you always have the latest version of that and that you're always having the updated newest versions of those that are linked down here as you can see. Don't grab anything in addition aside from Light Placer and Place Light. And lastly, I've covered a mod called Lorkhan, which is a mod that changes the music when it comes to Skyrim, the UI effects and pretty much everything. I think that was a little bit too much and I prefer the vanilla music. I ended up removing Lorkhan from my mod list because it changes the game and makes it way too different from what vanilla Skyrim should be, and I've replaced it with MEMOSPORE, which essentially only alters the UI sound effects to make them a little bit more sharper and better. When it comes to other information, to performance and fixes, you can watch my performance guide. On that video I've talked and explained a lot of those issues and how to fix them furthermore, so I'm gonna have this link down in the video description. That being said, that was the last episode of me modding Skyrim Special Edition. I'm planning to showcase some of my most favorite mods here and there upcoming next, and also cover lots of modding news when it comes to Skyrim. That being said, that was episode 8 of modding Skyrim Special Edition, the last episode, and I hope you enjoy your Skyrim being minimalist like I do, and expect at some point in the not so distant future me modding Skyrim all over again and trying something different. That being said, stay out of trouble guys, it was me Kavou. Feel free to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you made it up to this point. I will see you in the next one, stay safe, and until then, happy modding!